Welcome to Hardwood Inspirations. This will be part one of building a church cart. This cart will be used for musical instruments and stuff to place underneath a performance stage. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know those. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the next video. Have a great and blessed day. Here we are. We're going to start cutting all the metal for the basic frame of this cart. So one of the challenges was I was cutting 45-degree angles for the four basic outlines of the cart and to get those sizes so they were exactly correct. And I had to do that for the two long sides and the two shorter ends. Then I drilled at every 12 inches on the outside frame on the bottom some bolt holes so I could bolt down the plywood at a later time. I then laid the framing out on a flat concrete surface. I checked it for squareness with my square and did some small tacks in each of the corners. I then verified the squareness by going corner to corner to make sure they were exact. And they were. Thank goodness. So one of the more difficult things was I put a piece of 18-inch long 1x1 angle iron in each corner, and trying to get square going both directions was a little difficult. I also pre-drilled holes in these pieces for bolting at a later date some 1/4-inch plywood. So after tacking all 4 corners in place, I went through a process of welding up permanently all the corners so they were nice and strong. I then flipped the entire cart over and proceeded to weld the 45-degree angle in each corner and make sure all my welds were very satisfactory and nice and strong. I then proceeded to cut 3 pieces of 1/4-inch, 3-inch flat bar for additional bracing and for the attachment of the urethane 4-inch casters that were going onto the bottom of this cart. I measured in the center to make sure it was perfectly square end to end, and then I tacked that piece in place on each side, double checked it, and then permanently welded it. On the end pieces, I pre-drilled the holes for the casters. The 2 end pieces were both 18 inches in from each end. One set will have some swivel casters on it, and the other end will be straight casters for easy handling. Here I am drilling the holes for the casters on each piece of 1/4-inch by 3-inch flat bar. I had marked those using the casters as the template. I then made sure the flat bar was square to the frame and the exact same size from each end, and then proceeded to weld them in place. Here I am attaching the straight casters on one end, and I used 1/4-inch carriage bolts that were 1 inch long, 3/4 of an inch long, and I used nylon lock nuts for the attachment of the casters. So the attachment of the casters is the end of part 1. I now have the basic frame for the cart in place with the casters. I will now turn the cart over and proceed with the rest of the metal framing I need to do and plywood for part 2. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Click that notification bell if you aren't already subscribed, and so you can be notified of part 2 and 3 that will be coming in the future. Have a great and blessed day.